We've been following Golden Creep a lot this tournament, and honestly, we've seen some really cool games from him. This is game number 1, Losers Bracket Round 4. So we're playing the brackets a little out of order just based on who's ahead at this point. So Karosero versus Golden Creep. Karosero, high-level player. And here's a neat little thing. These two players played against each other in the last tournament. And Karosero, traditionally favored because he is, I believe he's a Masters level player. Golden Creep listed as silver, but I have to say Golden Creep has been playing really well in this tournament, so I'd love to see how this goes. In the bottom left, I didn't even see. There we go. In the bottom left, we have Karosero choosing between Dominion Raiders and Kala, getting Kala in the upper right. Choosing between Swarm, Infested, Covenant in the bottom left, excuse me. Getting Swarm. Swarm v Kala, a matchup we have seen today already and can produce some really cool stuff. Hope this rematch is fun to watch. You know, I gotta root for Golden Creep. You know, in the last tournament there were some games I was rooting for Karosero, so don't get me wrong. It's not that I like one of these players more than the other as a person. I like going for the underdog. I like following the person that we've been tracking throughout this tournament so far, and that's Golden Creep. So take it away, Swarm, throwing down that spawning pool. Meanwhile, Karosero starting to wall off himself a little bit with a gateway. We'll see if he does a full wall on here or not, because Swarm is, you know, very want to get fast Zergling speed. Now, this is something I said in our last Swarm v Kala matchup, saying, oh, fast Zergling speed, and in fact, the player then went down and took their expansion, making me sound like a fucking asshole. But what's new? Alrighty, so in the bottom right, Karosero, what you gonna do? Probably gonna throw down your Cybernetics core. Let's see it. Floating a little bit of money. He might go ahead and expand. It looks like he's gonna go for a fast expand as Kala. I gotta give him credit. I gotta give him a lot of credit. He did just go ahead and scout at his opponent, so he probably feels safe to do this. He did see a pool first before an expand, and here he is, throwing down a fast expansion. What a guy. Is he doing it? Is he doing it? He did. Congratulations, Karosero. You deserve some credit, because that takes balls. To go and scout your opponent, see the pool first. I suppose you didn't see the gas, but to know that pool is first before expand, and say, you know what? Fuck it. We're getting an expansion anyway. Also, I'm going to hotkey my Nexus to everything, to every button. I like it a lot. Meanwhile, Golden Creep going down and taking his expansion, getting his Zergling speed started right now. No Predators this time, though, Golden Creep. No more Predators, but on the other hand, your Zerglings can get morphed into Raptorlings. They do cost Terrazine, and they can jump up and down cliffs. So the question is he going to utilize that? Probably not, because New Gettysburg really does not work too well with things that can jump up and down cliffs, admittedly. You do have to get through the first ramp right here. So, you know, Karosero, it's not that it's super risky to take your expand, because against Zerg, they realistically can't use those Raptorlings. I mean, they can maybe get up here. But it's a lot easier for you to react to it as opposed to a huge gap like we saw in the previous match. Some fast Zerglings here. 8 Zerglings moving across the map. Only 1 Zealot out. And what else is building here? No other units coming out from Karosero. He doesn't know that this is coming. He has nothing on the map to tell him this is coming. So Golden Creep on the back end of this, finishing up speed, getting expansion, getting his lair, getting an evolution chamber, getting Hydralisk Den. More Zerglings coming out with only 1 Zealot on the map. And what is Karosero building right now? And here are the Zerglings now. Zerglings v a single Zealot, and he's going ahead and using the mutation right now. Ah, okay, so this has been changed. So now it's spikes. Ooh, really good stasis field right there. So the adaptations for the Zerglings have been changed. If you're new to Heptacraft, the swarm functions and all of your core units, Zerglings, Hydralisks, Mutalisks, Ultralisks, very similar to StarCraft 1 core units, have adaptations. So it looks like right now, adaptation spikes. This used to be a movement speed, I think, and now it's spikes. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check if he ever changes back to agility. Oh, and Karosero getting a really good wall off right there. But anyway, he's had the spikes up, which was reflecting attacks back on the Zealot. It looked like 2 damage. And it looks like Golden Creep, knowing that he has a slight advantage here, is going to keep sending in Zerglings. He is about supply blocked, and he has more Zerglings here, but he's not committing. It's possible he's going to say, I'm going to take my victory right here. I can't get in because this is walled in, and there's a repulsor here, and I'm just going to take what buildings I can get and leave some defense at home. But it looks like both players really working hard to deal with this right now. He's changing these Zerglings back to agility. Let's check this out. Minus 20%. It's just, it's strictly movement speed, it looks like. Now Zerglings with speed, trying to get us around on the Repulsor. The stasis field didn't get every Zergling. The Repulsor goes down. That's such a big hit right there because those cause early Terrazine, and they're very, very good against Zerglings, but getting surrounded and killed. The expansion for Karosero does have, what, 4 Zerglings around it, and it might go down. More Zerglings streaming in from Golden Creep. There are 3 cannons, though, on the high ground. I don't know if even this amount of Zerglings might not be able to break through. He may try to run by. He is going to try to run by. Oh, and a wall. The wall going down just in time. Actually, the Repulsor knocking the Zerglings through the wall and helping them get a full surround on the cannons. Now, with this amount of Zerglings, he's trying to break through one cannon. He's not going to finish it. Karosero actually preemptively canceling that gateway, knowing that he had that cleaned up. Looks like he's going to come down here and try to retake his expansion, as Golden Creep on the back end of this is getting muscular augments and possibly the start to some Hydralisk play. More Repulsors coming out from Karosero. 3 Repulsors. That's exactly what he needs against Zerglings for sure. Granted, once the Zerglings have the agility, are in the agility adaptation. That's what I'm thinking. They are quite fast. 6.58 movement speed is pretty crazy. Granted, when you have spikes up, you still have metabolic boost, which is a big movement speed increase, but it's not as fast. That's the difference there. So I'm curious to see if maybe the other adaptations have been changed. I know Hydralisk, you have the Hunter, the Killer adaptation, a neat little lure tidbit with Hunter Killers there. 20% attack speed versus 2 damage and 1 armor, but reduced movement speed. Interesting. Okay, so you could have fast movement, fast attack speed versus the Killer adaptation, which is more stationary turret. Not really. I mean, that's a huge over-exaggeration. That's very hyperbolic to say they're stationary turrets. They can still move, and they're still not going to be slow as molasses. Not to mention, you can still finish this muscular augments and have a speed boost. Alrighty, so here we go. It looks like Rainy in the chat saying Karosero's never played either Protoss faction before yet, so that's very interesting. Oh, we have Corsairs out. No! I don't know why, but I hate Corsairs. Oh, the air blockers getting in the way. The classic air blockers on the new Gettysburg map. We have 2 Corsairs out, though, from Karosero. Those are going to harass the crap out of these Overlords. We'll have to see if we start seeing some creep colonies go down to morph those into Spore Crawlers. That's right, you heard it here first. Not first, but the sentiment is there. Your creep colonies, which is how that worked in StarCraft 1, do get morphed into your defensive structures, but they turn into crawlers, so you can actually morph from a creep colony and then uproot and move, which is kind of neat, which then you could generate creep. As long as you burrow somewhere else with creep, you can generate creep further out. Kind of weird. Alrighty, so what's happening here? We've got 3 Repulsors still, and now we have Groove Spines and Swarm Carapace coming out. We have more Hydralisk getting built, and here comes a pretty large attack from Golden Creep. What does Karosero have to deal with this? He's throwing down 2 cannons, 1 Dragoon, and 3 Repulsors right now. I don't know, because the Zerglings are going to be able to get in if he doesn't have this fully walled off, and the cannons aren't even done yet. Here he comes. The Repulsor's going to do their best, but there's too many Zerglings. Really good stasis field, though. We've seen some great stasis fields from Karosero. Here are the Corsairs. They're going to sit here. They can't do anything. The money that he put into these Corsairs is unfortunate because he didn't build anything that can attack ground otherwise. You know, he might be able to get some good harassment in, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. And once again, Karosero's base, second base, getting taken out by Golden Creep. Now, we still have these cannons on the high ground. More gateways going down by Karosero, trying to get out some Dragoons, more Dragoons, but no wall in. And, well, there's the wall in right there with another stasis field. Karosero, huge props for the stasis fields right now. Will the Hydrals be able to push through? No, they're going to leave. They're waiting for the stasis field to be up, and the Zerglings back into the fray as the Dragoons trying to hold on. They're getting surrounded, but they are pretty quick and can avoid that. Another stasis field to save one of the Dragoons' lives, but these 2 cannons getting depowered. That's huge as the Hydralisk continue to stream across the map. 7 more right now as Golden Creep trying to force his way up this ramp. It was just all of these buildings getting depowered was incredibly unfortunate. Those 2 cannons might have been able to hold for quite some time as Golden Creep continues to push into the base of Karosero, as we now see a 1-0 lead from Golden Creep in this series. Well played by both players, especially, well, Golden Creep for taking out, it's kind of like a vengeance win against Karosero, who knocked him out in the last tournament, but also Karosero, because apparently if you've never played Kala before, really good showing for how hard is that to pick up a race you've never played.